4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, welcome to J.E.D.I Live. We are back for week 2. And let me just tell you, I am having so much fun putting these together. What has also been fun is getting text messages and direct messages and little conversations saying, hey, I saw you on LinkedIn. I saw you on Facebook. We checked out the YouTube channel and we actually do have a question. And so could you ask our question and maybe answer it in one of your lives? So keep those questions coming. Another way to do that and make sure that we don't miss it is go ahead and email us at J.E.D.I at Holiday Advisors. That's J.E.D.I at holidayadvisors.com. We will definitely use your questions and try to answer them on an upcoming live. Welcome to J.E.D.I Live. We are doing justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion strategies in 15 minutes or less. And today, I will admit, I just get excited talking about this because to me, this is an opportunity for everyone to show up authentically and to show up their best and to be productive. And what is more exciting than being in an environment where ideas are freely flowing, where you're accomplishing your goals and your tasks, and you're doing so free of any judgment, of any sort of racism or sexism or other kinds of isms that seek to diminish your point of view, your personality, or your perspectives. I mean, that just is something that you want to wake up and get you excited to get moving every morning. And so I get excited about the opportunity to share these strategies with you all. But we're going to do it in a very brief time period. So today, I'm super geeked because I get asked this question by clients and by other people who know that I do this work so often. And it's like, Holly, we believe in diversity. We know how important it is, and we know, and we desperately want to have that in our organization, in our company, in our institution. But we get stuck. We struggle with this idea when we look at our pools of applicants between do we pick the best candidate or do we lean into diversity? Well, I'm going to stop you right there as I do when I get asked this question and say, that's not the right question. If you're asking yourself, man, or if you feeling like you have to choose between the best candidate or the most diverse candidate, we already got a Houston, we have a problem. So listen, here's what you have to think about. The question isn't about it. The question in and of itself assumes that you're starting from a place where the best and diversity are not the same thing. And that's where you go wrong. I'm not saying that the best candidate is always a person of color or a member of the LGBTQ community. But what I am saying is that more often than not, a person who is a good fit, who also represents a sense of diversity for your company, they are the same. They are the same. And if you really want to get to so that sameness is a part of your reality, because we're only doing this in 15 minutes or less, I'm not going to offer you 5 strategies, 10 strategies. I'm going to offer you two core strategies. That's all you're getting today. So the first thing is think about who you are as an institution, as an organization. Think about the language and the policies that you might be using when you start to seek a candidate. Consider that there is a world where the best candidate for you and for your organization and for your team is out there, that they represent the level of diversity that you seek, but they are not attracted to you. And with that in mind, go back with those glasses on and examine your own language and policies around what you're using to attract candidates to you. Think about things like your organization's reputation and presence. What are people saying about who you are as an employer, about the kinds of experiences that they're having? Are those places where people feel like they can show up authentically? If not, maybe you think about how you can make some of those adjustments. And another place that's really important to think about is the job descriptions, job announcements, and job postings that you're putting out. Examine those writings and figure out if the language that you're using feels inviting, feels inclusive, feels as though it will honor people for bringing their great ideas. Not to say that every idea gets accepted. It's not about that. It's about creating a space where there can be intellectual thought freely shared and considered, no matter where it comes from. And does the language that you are sharing, even in something as simple as a job post, which can be sometimes really short, are you using a language that is inviting? Are you using language that would attract people? And if you're not sure, as I always talk about, you know what? Diversity, equity, inclusion, justice is a team sport. Don't feel like you have to do it all alone. If you are that hiring manager or you're that person in HR that's required, that's responsible for writing those descriptions, and you're not quite nailing it, do some research, tag a friend, reach out to people who have gone through the process. Maybe some of those people already work for you, and you can say, what was it that attracted you to this job? Are there things and language that you would have liked to see that would have made you excited about applying for this opportunity? These are the kinds of things and the kinds of ways in which you can do little things that make a big impact and really start to attract the candidate that is both best for you as well as representing the diversity you seek. The second strategy, because we are only doing two because we're going to get these in quick. The second strategy is get outside of your bubble. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. One way to think about is exploring the spaces and building relationships with organizations, associations, academic institutions, and community partners that already have the kind of candidate you seek as part of their network. Figure out how to be a part of that. And if that feels challenging and sort of overwhelming, start close to home. Talk to people who, again, already work with you. Ask them what kinds of associations are they a part of, and would they be willing to represent the organization in that association to share job descriptions and opportunities. Think about, maybe you're already scouting at, I'm going to pick a random school, University of Missouri, and you're working with the School of Business or already working with the career department. But have you talked and had an intentional conversation with that career department about how they on campus are attracting the diversity of their student body to your job and to your opportunity? Maybe you haven't. This would be an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? Is it possible for us to meet with, let's say you're hiring for an engineering position. Is it possible for us to meet with the Black Engineers Club on campus? Or is it possible for us to meet with the Women's Engineer Club on campus, in addition to folks who may be naturally utilizing the career service? Because keep in mind, even folks that you may be partnered with, even though they have a level of diversity in their midst, like at an academic institution, doesn't mean that even they are attracting the best candidate that also represents diversity to your position. So you may have to kind of be more intentional about how you present yourself, the questions you ask, and the way in which you elicit and work with partners to develop the diverse team that you want. Now here, in this live, we are mostly just talking about diversity. So we're just really digging into how do we get different kinds of people. But always remember that in order to sustain the diversity that you seek, you've also got to do the work on equity and inclusion. You've got to make sure that you are operating from a space that allows for the opportunity for people to show up authentically and fair, and also that the systems in which you're bringing them into, and particularly the workplace culture, also is comfortable and safe enough for them to do just that. All right. Well, that has been Jedi live in 15 minutes or less. We are true to our word. We are doing these quick and fast, and they're just little tidbits that you can use to improve your diversity, equity, inclusion in your workplace in little ways. And just like building a wall, little ways stack up on each other. And before you know it, you've got a whole changed and transformed working environment. I want to remind you that we are here every Thursday at noon because doing this quick and fast. And we're here to talk about what you want to talk about. So feel free, let me get my words together. Feel free to email your questions to jedi@holidayadvisors.com or DM me or check us out. These broadcasts are available for replay on our YouTube channel as well. So that's a great place to subscribe to if you haven't already. And I will say until then, we will see you next week. Next week, same time, right here on LinkedIn for the next edition of Jedi Lunch Break Live. Bye. Did you enjoy this segment of Jedi Lunch Break Live? I'll be back next Thursday. Come on back and bring a friend.